This is a picture of Shawn Hawkins, and he usually sends me a picture every Christmas. So this was from December of 2019. I got to know Shawn's family, though, very, very well, because his mother, Judy Hogan, was just adamant about, her son did not do this and that she was going to do whatever it took to get him out. The kid that got shot, he was a friend of his, and it all boiled down to the evidence that, there were fingerprints in the car. And Shawn's like, I've been in that car hundreds of times, that this is stupid. Of course my prints are going to be there. But that's really was their big evidence. They didn't have much else. But, you really kind of think that it go back to he was a Black kid in the wrong place at the wrong time. They needed to solve this murder, and they found something little to pin on him and had nothing else from anybody else. So poor Shawn got the brunt of it. They were a family from College Hill, which is here in Cincinnati, not far from us. And she got her family just super motivated. And was just amazing how she got her whole family to get up and behind Shawn. And they would have, at one point, we were having weekly meetings over at her house, and there'd be 50, 60 people at these meetings. Sister Alice Gerdeman and I would go over just to get started and get our hands involved to see, hey, what's really going on? Because we would go over to Judy's, and she wouldn't sit there and cry and say, woe is me. She's like, okay, this is what we're doing. I mean, this family had T-shirts, they had buttons. I mean, you couldn't walk out of that house without a handful of papers that were petitions and what you were going to do. And she would set an agenda for her meetings and would say, okay, this is what needs to be done. And she would just go right down the line. But she knew what she needed to do. And she went and found people that she knew could help her and help her son. And that was her ultimate goal, was to bring Shawn home. You'd go into her house and she'd have a pile of mail. She would write governors and all different groups and, just get anybody she could to get involved. And when you came back the next meeting, you didn't say, I couldn't get it done. You would say, this is what I did, because she wasn't going to take no for an answer. And I don't know if it was Sister Alice that got Sister Helen Pragine involved, but she was even at Judy's home. And she would sit there and the two of them would talk. And Judy was like, okay, she's another person who can help me. She wasn't like, oh my gosh, it's Sister Helen. It's like, no, I need this woman to help me. And that's what she did. She finally got a lawyer that became very, very involved with the case. The lawyer, I don't want to say promised, but he was like 90% sure that he was going to come home. We had such high hopes. I mean, everything just looked so positive. And, Kasich was, delaying executions, and, we had really thought that was going to be it. And then Governor Kasich is the one who gave him life without parole.
The part about life in prison, of course, was not something I was happy about, but the part about not being put to death and being granted my commutation was a really profound moment, because it really was like life or death in that moment. And I mean, it's a very unique experience, to say the least, because death, of course, is so final. And you know that either living or dying is being hinged on one person's word. It was just like a huge relief that, I would be able to continue fighting for my freedom. And, thinking about my mom, because that was like really my biggest worry, my mom, because she had already lost, two kids, two children. I was very relieved that her heart wouldn't be broken again like that.
Things kind of quieted down for maybe a month or so, and then she started to get back into it. And then it was just like everybody just kind of walked away. They didn't know how to handle this. I still hear from Shawn, and he's always very positive in all of his letters. So, you just keep writing back and say, when you need us, you know where we're at.
I started writing Shawn January 2019, so I've been writing to him a little over a year now. At first, I was definitely nervous. Didn't really have any idea what to expect, but Shawn is just the greatest guy, and he is super friendly, and so he made it really easy to open up.
I've met some really beautiful people over the years through pen paling, and she happens to be one of those people. I'm glad that I can call her a friend.
He is super resilient. I think it is super surprising that a lot of guys who've been through this manage to still stay positive. He always ends everything with things could always be worse, and I just have to do what I've got to do to survive. He talks about being in prison is just surviving kind of, and just doing everything you can to get through that. I also find that he appreciates our relationship. Shawn's been in there for quite some time, and he says that writing people is just his window to the outside. And so I try and take pictures and videos and just let him experience as much as he can.
I really wouldn't be the person that I am today without, the love and support from all these people that has, entered my life, family, friends, and strangers alike. I've really been able to emerge from that very dark period of my life and just flourish and, thrive as a result of the support and, all the nurturing that has come along with it. It's been incredible. Really has.
Writing Shawn always makes me remember that there's people behind all of this. I think the human side of it is something that we can't really quantify, but it's something that you feel once you write those people. Anyone looking to write someone, I think, should definitely give it a try. And IJPC can help facilitate the conversation in a lot of ways. So if people are nervous, we can kind of help them through the beginning.